back, everybody. Eric is going to take us through another great sports debate. We've had a lot of these. Last week we had mental versus physical. This week we're talking offense versus defense. What's more important to a team's success? This should be a really interesting one. Eric, take it away.
Yeah, I feel like every episode we have always we're talking offense and defense because we talk sports and we're very knowledgeable with that. Before people ever even knew or watched sports, it was said that militaries would test individuals to see if they were fit for battle and war, which then picked up into competitions between individuals to gain better skills and behaviors. Hence, sports came into the world. During the Industrial Revolution, sports picked up. People started gambling on sports. This made them more prevalent. It sparked more interest in people to watch sports. Thus came the mass media, the global communication, and the professionalism revolving around all sports. But what builds sports, in my opinion, is usually offense and defense. You got to have both. Who knows? Maybe you have to have more than one than the other. Tonight we got Tyler and James will be arguing why defense is more important to build a successful team, organization, etc. We got Alex and Traden teaming up on the offensive side. So let's start with defense, and Tyler and James, you can both talk whenever. Interrupt each other if you want to, who knows. But what are the key aspects or like system qualities it would take to build a defense, a successful defense?
I'll go first, Ty.
All right.
Okay. So key aspects for defense. And it's pretty simple in my opinion. Defense is a simple formula. For the most part, it's a willingness to work hard, willingness to hustle. Never give up on a play, ever, because you never know what might happen. Trust what you've been taught and trust your teammates and trust the system. Whenever you start to doubt those things and go back to your old ways and not trusting the system and trusting what other people are supposed to be, that's where mess ups happen. But in the case that mess ups do happen, you can hustle to the play and hopefully still make a play while running to it. So never give up on your play. Ty, what do you got?
Yeah, very good points that I had there too. I would also say communication is a big one. I think defensive is most sports like defense, you're reacting to what the offense is doing. And in a team sport, you have to communicate with each other, during the game very, very well in order to make that run very, very smoothly. And also, I think you kind of mentioned to it, hustling, working hard. I think it comes down to the individual taking responsibility for their own individual part, whatever that may be. And that, along as with hustle and just, making the best play every single time. And then you got to have your playmakers, the guys that, really force those turnovers in a sport or are able to defend the best player on the team offensively to stop that and slow that down. And so having your one or two guys that are just, the playmakers on defense, so to speak, I think are all big parts in building a good defense.
Yeah. So what I take out of it is like, you got to give 100% on every play in defense. If not, you can be caught for slip ups. And kind of maybe it sounds like Tyler's saying good defense creates offensive opportunity. But Alex and Traden, what do you got to say about what is the key aspects, system qualities of a built offense for a team?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. If you don't score, you can't win. Offense is obviously incredibly important. It comes down to that. And something that both James and Tyler mentioned is it's all about hard work and hustle. Those are things that can be taught. That can be something that coaches can push into a player. Overall skill is something that, Mike Trout is the best offensive player in baseball. You're not going to expect Clayton Kershaw. He can go out and hit every goddamn day for 15 hours a day. He's never going to be able to hit as well as Mike Trout. Overall skill, there's plenty of there's also, we've talked about the Rams, we've talked about the Redskins, great defenses, can't score, not going to go far. Offense is crazy important.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just kind of second that. It's that. I guess that's all to it. I mean, if you don't score, you're not gonna go anywhere. We saw what happened with the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup last year. They ran into a team higher octane offense. And that said, I mean, I'm not going to discount, any defense, but if you can spend all the time in the world, keeping the puck out of your net or keeping the ball out of your own end zone, or, whatever you want to say, or when it comes down to it, with the way the rules are changing and nowadays, it's just facilitating more offense. It is making it harder for defenses because offense is becoming more important. I mean, Nick Saban even went on record saying that even he knows that even he's seeing in college football that defenses are becoming so good, offenses are becoming so good that even the best defenses can't stop, any high octane offense. Yeah, you have to have enough just to stop them, but at the end of the day, if your offense is subpar, there's no way you're going to be winning in these leagues anymore.
Yeah, those are good points. I mean, the mere fact of, sports involve numbers, and if you got the higher number, you win, and usually offense is the one producing that number. That's a pretty good point right there. But I mean, also looking at the Rams, they had the top defense. We don't see them in the Super Bowl. What the fuck, Rams? But you're looking at, you see it now, like a lot of organizations, head coaches, GMs, like some teams are like, preaching like defense first, defensive minded things, and vice versa. Like Tyler, you think, being a GM or a coach, like building your team strictly off defense, like will this create that team to be successful, maybe, make a run and end up winning it all?
Yeah, I think it's obviously both are important. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but I think that a lot of really good kind of the culture of a team and focus should come from the defensive side, because I think that's kind of where it starts. I think that's kind of the fundamentals of most sports are a lot to do with defense, and kind of creating that mentality of we're gonna do our best to keep this system in place to stop their team from scoring. I think is kind of like step one. I think so. I think getting that figured out first, I think is hugely important. And it's as a fan, you're watching the sport. Defense isn't necessarily the main focus. It's not as flashy. I think a lot of players don't really want to play defense because it's not as fun. It's way more fun to score a goal in hockey than it is to take a block shot. It's no one loves to play defense.
Nice.
I hate playing defense. If anyone's ever played sports to me, like I suck at defense because I really don't like playing defense. It's not as fun. I prefer to be the one scoring. But it is hugely important, and I think that it's super important to have a system in place that values defense very, very much because it's vital to a team's success.
Yeah, James, I hate giving your Niners credit. I feel like last year when they went to the Super Bowl, they were like that defensive-minded team. Seeing that coach, I don't remember his name. He just got hired by the Jets, didn't he, or something?
Robert Saleh, yeah.
Yeah, that dude just always getting hyped on the sidelines. But anything you want to second, Tyler, or have something to say?
Yeah, definitely. So in the mind of a GM, I definitely want to hire a defensive-minded head coach because that defensive-minded head coach will instill a different culture. It'll instill a culture of hard work, of effort, a team that doesn't give up, one that has a high motor, a team that doesn't take off plays at all, like a team that'll work hard. That's the kind of culture that a defensive coach will instill. If you look at it, like you don't ever hear about prima donnas on the defensive side. It's always on the offensive side. It's always those guys that are kind of crazy and be like, hey man, I don't get the ball enough. But on the defensive side, you get the guys who are out there doing their thing. They don't get their name mentioned a lot because they don't get a lot of hype, but they're out there and they're making the team work. And that's the kind of culture that you get when you have a defensive-minded head coach. A thing that I like to think about too is that defensive coaches play to win, while offensive coaches play to score. And where that gets you is that if you try to score too much, you're going to slip up. You're going to be too aggressive, and then the defense will take advantage of that and play to win. Like at that point, if you're up by 10 points and there's 2 minutes left, you're not going to try and score another touchdown. You're going to run the ball, run out the clock. That's what you're supposed to do. But an offensive-minded head coach might get too aggressive. Defensive-minded, they'll hunker down, run the ball, play some hard ball, and play and win the game. That's the kind of stuff that I like more so than the high flashy prima donna stuff.
Yeah, those are good points. If you're defensively sound, you're less risk. Sherman versus Crabtree, who do you want to be? My mind just sparked trading. We're talking the Bucks here. Bruce Arians, he's an offensive minded coach. We said the Bucks were gonna win. Why would a guy like preaching offense first? Like, what's so important about that? I guess he's in the Super Bowl, so it must mean something important.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at football. Let's look at the football. I brought up a football reference, which has been kind of a mainstay for me, like the whole reference fleet of website stuff that has all the data I need for all the sports. I love it. Looking at the data of team offense league averages per game on the offensive side in the NFL, even just looking at between 1992 and 2020, the numbers have been steadily increasing in terms of yards per game. I mean, clearly, and they're making considerable jumps. And rushing wise, the numbers are staying pretty stagnant, but passing yards is kind of becoming the big thing. And anybody can say here, it's becoming a quarterback league, and that's the focus of pretty much every single football team in every single discussion. Even in our discussion, what the discussion we had about the Super Bowl was largely around Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. There was a little bit of discussion on the defensive side, mostly from James, but not from us. I mean, like, because at the end of the day, that's what we kind of calibrate everything over, around. We calibrate every team success over the ability of a quarterback in the NFL to make plays and to continue and to move chains and to get the ball in the end zone. I mean, yes, that's kind of the big thing, and you're seeing it. You're seeing that the way that all these, like I said earlier, the leagues are instilling rules that are making it very hard to are making it harder defensively and easier offensively. It's just becoming an offensive minded sport environment. That's just what kind of I'm seeing right now.
So you're saying offensive minded coach, draft GOAT, go to Super Bowl, win Super Bowl. It's that simple of a formula.
I mean, it's not quite that simple, but yes.
I'm going to get to Alex. Actually, I got something for Alex baseball wise, but James, I think, has like a quick rebuttal, it seems.
Yeah. So you guys are basing it off the fact that me and Tyler are saying that in order for a defense to be successful in our mind, it means 0 points scored, 0 yards gained, completely shut down. That's not what I'm saying. Everything in every single sport is trending up to offense. But I'm saying that the defense still has to play up to par as well. You can't have a shit defense and expect to win.
Absolutely.
Right? You have to be up there. You have to be competitive. And all the rules are making it so offense will succeed, and the defenses have to face that adversity and adapt. And they're not going to put up zeros. They're not going to put up a shutout. But the fact of the matter is they still have to be good enough, and they still have to put up the same effort to compete. Because otherwise, if it's a shootout, the better offensive team will win if there's no defense. But the defense is what offsets that offensive shootout. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying, like, don't watch a game like Falcons versus Chargers because their defenses are just complete horseshit.
Yeah, Eric, to kind of like, what, I don't even care that we're separated into groups. I'm just going to go to James's point and actually agree, and I'll take the data from the NHL and say, since 1980, of the 38 teams that won the Stanley Cup through 2018, 9 teams who won were 10th or worse in goals against. And of the 38 teams who won the same period, only 6 teams have won with the cup with a 10th or worse regular season's goals for, which means you have to have an above average defense, but you also have to have a very high caliber offense in general if you want to win the Stanley Cup. And mostly if you look at it in the NFL, it's going to be about the same. If you are a below average defense, to James's point, I don't care how good your offense is, you're probably not going to be going very far. I think that's what his point was.
Yeah,
exactly.
Alex, talking baseball here. You look at the Dodgers last year; they win the damn World Series. They seem to be a high-powered offensive baseball team. Constant hits, constant guys on base, constant runs being scored. Mookie Betts, Jock Peterson, Turner, all those guys. How important building a team like that in baseball, that's a good example of just offense winning games, right?
Yeah, I mean, for kind of following up on James's point, where all of these leagues are like trending to more offensive minded things, baseball is becoming harder and harder offensively because every single guy that comes out of that bullpen is throwing 95 plus. Every single guy has a nasty splitter, a nasty slider, a nasty curve, whatever it is. It's getting harder and harder to hit, and you see it year after year. There's more and more strikeouts. There's more and more walks. People are getting less hits overall. Yes, James, people are hitting more homers because people are changing the way they swing the bat. to accommodate the fact that, dude, we literally cannot get enough hits to get rallies going. So the best way is to just try to homer the other team.
And we're seeing more strikeouts
and then,
as well, right?
We're seeing, yeah, exactly. Every year there's more. Well, not this year, obviously, because they played like 0 games. But every year there's more and more strikeouts. Every year if you're listening to baseball podcasts or talk shows or whatever, those guys that have those bat to ball skills, like an Anthony Rendon of the Angels, he never strikes out. He hits all over the field. Those guys are far and far. They're not in the league as often, I guess, anymore. There's not guys like Ichiro who he's going to hit 3 homers a year, but he's going to hit 350. So yeah, for baseball, it's totally different. You need to build a well-rounded offense or you don't have a chance. You just don't have a chance. Look at the Rays. They had a great pitching staff, great defense. Their offense, it got them to the World Series, but they were completely overmatched by the Dodgers, who are a much better offensive team and were good enough when the pitching and the defense side.
Yeah, those are all good points. Last, we'll just go around. I'm going to put everybody on the spot. Let's start with Tyler. Who is the best defensive team and the best offensive team you've ever watched that was obviously, hopefully, successful?
Wow.
And we'll go around the horn. We'll go with me last so I could think about a team.
Yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot right away with that one.
So you go first.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go.
Well, hey, how about you think of one, and if you can't think of both, we'll go around.
Okay.
We can start with defense.
Recent memory off the top of my head, I think offensively, I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs last year and even this year. Just that offense is just amazing to watch. Defensively, honestly, when the LA Kings were winning their cups, that defensive system was just so good. And I think that's the reason why they won those cups was because of defense. Defense first.
Yeah, I was gonna say that for my defensive team, the Kings, but I'll switch it. I guess I hate to give this team credit. The defense that maybe I saw that was most successful was the Seahawks when they won their one Super Bowl against the Broncos. Literally just destroyed Peyton Manning and their whole offense. Utter domination, as Traden would say. I got to keep thinking of an offensive team. James, you got anything?
Yeah, for defense, I'm gonna say the Patriots team of last year or 2 years ago, the one that was literally ranked among the top 10 ever in terms of defense because of how many points they didn't give up. To be honest, they played against some pretty shit teams, but the numbers definitely indicate that they're one of the best defensive teams that ever played this game. Offensively, I think was it the Padres last year that were just absolutely just dominating and just hitting home runs left and right. That was cool. That was fun to watch. That got me really into baseball. And real fast, I want to give a quick shout out to Alex because damn, dude, I was all defense up until he made that baseball point, and now I'm thinking, damn, offense on baseball. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna go with this is a crazy hot take, but this is what I always do. I'm gonna go with the current team that I think will have the highest powered offense. I'm gonna go with the Edmonton Oilers. You got the dude named Connor McDavid paired with Leon Draisaitl. Here's one thing they should do, Traden. Put Draisaitl on another line, dude, because he'll make other guys get opportunities.
They have for a season and a half.
Yeah, bro.
Well, continue to do it because they didn't do it last year in the playoffs. Or did they?
Yes, they did.
Well, maybe put him back on the line with McDavid then if they want to win more games. But those guys I just saw, they're leading the league in all points, both of them. So what a surprise. But that's a high octane offense. Who knows? Maybe they get one more little piece there. Things could change for them. Alex, who you got?
Yeah, so the defensive ones, as I'm thinking of them, you guys are saying them. It's I had the Patriots when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, and then I had the Seahawks. So I'm gonna also kind of go off the 2012 Ravens whenever they beat the Niners. like Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs.
Oh, Ray Lewis.
Dude,
Oh, that team was ridiculous, man.
good defense.
Yeah.
That's a really good
All
defense.
over the place. Yeah.
And then offensively, those late 90s Yankees teams were just unreal offensively. Or like the 2001 Mariners with like a young Griffey, Edgar Martinez, like a 21-year-old A-Rod. Some of those, like Ichiro. Yeah, that 2001 Mariners team won like 117 games or something like that. Yeah. Unreal offensive teams. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, we're pulling out the fucking tool shed, boys.
That was way back, but
yeah, no, it's good though. It's sparking like my memory of all these things. Traden.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
So I'm gonna start with the offense, and it has to be the 1983-84 Edmonton Oilers. They put up 440.
Wayno.
None of us were alive.
To the year.
5.57 goals per game.
The question said that you've seen, but no, it's fine. I want to hear it anyways. Tell me.
This team would be able to. I mean, they had the greatest talent in the NHL. I mean, they had Paul Coffey, Yari Curry, Mark Messier. Oh, and by the way, they had Wayne Gretzky. Not a big deal. Yeah, they were the best offensive team in NHL history. So there you go. Defensively, I'm going to give you guys your 2012 LA Kings. Yeah. They did not let anything in. Like zero. I mean, and they were the worst offensive team. Actually, they were second to last in offense.
Boy.
I think you just proved who won the debate.
They won the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Yes.
So they were the worst offensive team.
But the best defense.
Stanley Cup.
They are the anomaly that is defense first, boys.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I think their shooting percentage was so shitty during the regular season, but they just started to find their stride in the postseason. I mean, that's really what matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeff Carter's the man. That's why.
Yeah.
Jeff Carter, baby.
We got him with a bleached hair and everything from Columbus.
Yeah.
We're destined to win. Listeners, thank you. We'll leave it up to you guys. Hopefully you guys like our little debates we got going. We'll keep them going. We love to argue with each other and then agree with each other and then argue again. That's just how we are. But yeah, that's what I got for this week, Tyler.
Thank you, Eric. Always love talking about these. Super interesting. Everyone always makes some really good points that I didn't think about, and always a great debate to have.